What's your goal at the game?
I was a pretty casual player, and then I started going to college this year, and they have a league team, and there's like tuition breaks, so I was like, that'd be tight. So that's kind of my goal. Is if I could get to a collegiate level, that'd be cool. It's just a local college, I guess, but. Besides that, if that's not possible, just improve at the game. I feel like I'm very basic with it right now.
What does that mean? How long have you been playing?
On and off for like maybe 2 years.
Okay, so you're still relatively new. And how long until you kind of have to make a move on this collegiate thing?
Oh, I tried out this spring. Obviously didn't make it.
Who did make it in this team? Do you know? Like rank wise?
No. They were looking for. I mean, honestly, they were like, we want to ideally get everyone to gold or whatever, or the people that I saw in the room. I don't know if they had more after that. So it wasn't like a high.
That's what I'm wondering, right? Because obviously, like, I'm not trying to shit on you here. If you're trying to make a team and it's all diamond players, there ain't no fucking way, dude.
Oh yeah, no, that would be years.
Yeah, that's gonna take. Yeah, that's gonna probably take at least a year or two of consistent grinding to even start closing any substantial gap. But gold is so. What's that?
I got 4 more years to go, at least there. So
okay, well, fair enough. So let's start with making a plan here. The first thing is, are we absolutely 100% sold on like Yasuo as the end all be all of the league?
No. It's just who it's like the champion that I know the most, or that Shaco. To be honest, I started out top lane. That was shit, and then so I moved to jungle.
Top lane's very hard.
Yeah, so I moved to jungle, and I actually enjoyed that, and it was fun, and it like I was able to progress, and it helped me understand a bit more. But then it kind of got repetitive, like really just kind of, I don't know. So I moved to mid, and mid was actually really fun, and I felt like a bit more challenging for me personally. Okay. I like to like throw myself into. I like to, in games just. Like I jumped right into ranked right away to like get pummeled to learn kind of deal.
I did that. Yeah, that's fine. When I was first starting out, that's basically how I grew up playing. Is I just would go right in and get shit on, right?
Yeah.
So I guess let's start with go ahead and just queue up. Let's kind of like skill assess here and see where we're at and what what we're doing right and what we're not doing right, and kind of point you in the right direction so that you can start clawing away at this. This amount of like with all these obstacles that we got to kind of work through, right? And so we've just got to kind of see like where we're at, where we need to go. If gold can be done pretty quick if you correct things, but again, it depends kind of where your baseline is right now. Like if you're just in bronze, just doing like absolutely game throwingly stupid shit, is very different than like we're in bronze and we're struggling to like pilot the game, right? Those are very different. Right. Those are different levels of struggle.
I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, gold would be like an awesome starting point. I mean, personally, I just if I do something, I want to be like the best at it. That's also kind of why I like go towards the Yasuo. I know everybody hates him, but I feel like if you do get it down and you can get that game going, then he can just carry.
Right. So why do you think he struggles so much then? Like win rate wise, like why does he struggle so much?
I don't really know how to answer that. If I had to answer that, I guess I would say like there's like a lot of mages, a lot of poke. He has his win wall and everything like that. But I feel like if you don't capture that early game, then it's I don't know, it can either be 0-10 or you can kind of stick in it, but unless you get that early game lead, I feel like he struggles a bit.
So basically the reason why I'm asking that question is I'm not trying to play gotcha or anything,
right,
I'm just trying to kind of get a read on like what you think your champion's weaknesses are, right? What do you think? So essentially the simplified version here is that Yasuo players are kind of pushed into inting. So what does that mean? So because he's so like his push speed, so first off, he has a really, really high attack speed, right? In general, right? Then his Q is an AoE push. His E is a single target push. He has no mana problems, right?
Right.
So essentially what happens is you're incentivized right off the jump to just start pushing lanes and not thinking too hard about it. But Yasuo simultaneously is one of the easiest champions in the game to gank.
Right. I can see that.
So not only
so minion
right. So you have this champion who basically it's kind of like the devil on your shoulder, right? This champion's telling you, go ahead, man. All you have to do is press Q. Just press Q. Just do it. It's fun, right? You want to press Q,
just
don't
press
you?
E 3 times.
Yeah, press EQ, and you can hit a lot of minions. You want to do that, don't you? You want to be the man, don't you?
Yeah.
So you start doing this, right? You start doing this. The wave slides forward. Pantheon jungle comes running out, or it's Pantheon mid, and then maybe like a Jarvan jungle or something. Guy presses W on you. Gank shows up. You die. Rest of the game, you die. Because there's no way that you can really resolve. That's where the 0-10 Yasuo meme comes from. Can't really resolve a champion where in order to farm you kind of have to like get right into melee range, right? Like we can't offset the failures previous like some champions. If I die on Lux, I'm still gonna be able to farm.
Right.
I'm gonna be sad, but I'm still gonna be able to farm. I'm still gonna be able to try to not die later, right? As long as I'm not getting like dove by like assassins or something, right?
Yeah,
it's the same problem that Tryndamere has. Tryndamere falls behind. Guy's gonna probably go 0-8, right? It's just what it is. Some champions, there's no way to avoid the pitfalls when you're new. So usually my cure-all advice for Yasuo players, like, or what I throw out there is just, or what I'm expecting to be the issue, is you don't know how to play a good offense defense. Because Yasuo essentially to get through the lane phase with Yasuo reliably, because that's what you just said. You made a really good statement, whether you know it or not. Where you said basically there's, if I do land that great game, it feels great, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, is that since laning is so tricky with Yasuo, finding that great game often becomes quite a task, because all these champions, like I can go through this list, like just looking at the champions right now, like just in that champion list right there, Renekton, Set, Shen, Pantheon, Mordekaiser, like there's so many champions in this list that just click on you and you lose too. And so that's the other problem with Yasuo, Master Yi, right? It's the other problem with Yasuo is that you also have to be able to kite. So you have to do melee kiting when you've got like a billion ways to be mobile, and you've got this Q3, right, with the tornado.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a big deal. Like trying to get players to wave manipulate properly and then to kite properly versus champions that have a much easier time. Right.
Right.
So that's kind of the summary. That's basically how you should view this champion. It's just like, no matter what I do, or going forward, no matter what I do, I have to survive lane.
Gotcha. Avoid
the temptations.
So like just keep absolute control of the lane while we're in that phase.
It's more important in order to get to gold. It's more important to literally not just autopilot shove and just try to understand what it is you're doing with the wave with each ability. Because no offense, I know you're in bronze. I can pull up your VODs and I already know that you're pushing on autopilot a ton. Like I don't even have to look, right? This is like doctor shit. Like I've just been doing this for so long. Right?
Hey,
like
man, that's when you get paid.
I've just been doing it long enough to know that if I open up your games, you're going to be like pushing into death all the time. Like just, it's going to happen. I would say versus this, that again is quite pokey. I would probably just program the fucking Dorans in here because I think it's gonna be tough for you to dodge a lot of this. Because he is pretty heavy duty poke. And then first thing I want you to do is press escape and go into your interface and shrink it down. The HUD scale should be shrunk down. You want to put it at 0. Absolute 0, just 0. You see, it won't remove it. Yeah.
Okay.
It seems goofy because you would think that it just takes it away or something. Now, versus Zed, you know that he's gonna, like I said, he's just gonna walk up and spam Q. So your emphasis is just getting the last hits while avoiding getting into a cock measuring contest with Zed on with Zed like early trades, right? Like
Gotcha.
if you manage to dodge a bunch of Qs and stack up a health lead, then you certainly can just jump in his face and fuck him up. Here, I would try to get level 2 first, just so I could just E onto his head and beat him up with lethal tempo, because lethal tempo is quite good. So you should push. You should use your Q here and just, because the wave is about even. So he's level 2. If you can jump to him here, it's not bad. He just uses shadow. Yeah, fight him. You want to make sure to occasionally land that type of trade if you waste a shadow, because that's a big moment.
Right.
Don't go crazy here. Just, we're going back to chilling. You want to keep this wave about even like you're doing, right? You don't want to mindlessly shove when you're new. You want to think about why it is you're fighting. Right there is a decent window to fight him, because he's gonna have a really hard time beating you in like a stat check scenario. If he wants to keep trading, so we basically just lost that trade. So we could just get our shield back up, and then we could consider going in again. So you could go trade with him here. You got your shield, don't hesitate now. And there's no need to do a short trade versus the Zed. You're the one that wins the long trade. Yeah, you're the one that wins the long trade if he gives it to you.
I am just ping spiking here, but it's alright.
It could be Discord screen share. Do you have goofy internet settings or something?
Oh yeah, I live out in the boonies.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We'll get through this game and then we'll VOD review for the rest of it. At least I can kind of see where you're at mechanically.
It's pretty regular. Like it's not.
Oh, it's not because of the stream. Got it.
Yeah, no.
Okay, just pull off since he ignites. I would consider taking a reset here. This is very lethal right now. Like if he hits the W, Q, it could be very bad. Okay, he'd take the turret shot. I would assist ping mid and stay. You got D shield. Don't even go for Qs. You can't handshake. You cannot. No. You're too close. You're too close. You're too close. Forward and back movements, not side to side. Like towards your nexus, towards his nexus. There you go. That's how you should move in this video game. Also backed, which means you probably should shove the small wave as fast as you can.
Okay.
Because he's going to be in base. It's going to take him time to get back out here. Play this. Yeah, just Q and leave. Yep. Let's get in the bush and reset. I'd get in the bush and reset. Okay. We can't go to mid safely. We'll get fucked up. Now get our Berserker Greaves. We'll get our Longsword. We'll get back to mid quick. I would shove. I would shove here. There's no interaction with anybody, so I just shove. Okay, so he's bottom, so I just take a plate then. And you know there's 4 bottom, which means you get a plate. I would shove this wave though, because you're Yasuo. You could be queuing the minions while shoving, or while hitting tower, I mean. Zed's coming for you. So what I would do is I would queue this whole wave, and I would kite them upriver. So you don't have to go for the plate, but you should take the cannon. Oh, yep, there you go. You can kite upriver. Go upriver, straight up. You shouldn't be walking sideways. You should have just went straight up. You're just playing.
You're there.
Yeah, you're just playing keep away.
Gotcha.
Now, yeah, you can absolutely take this. There's no harm in taking it. The other thing is your Bel'Veth. You saw Yi mid, so he might go into the jungle, but it doesn't look like he went for your Bel'Veth. So what I would be thinking now is I would just take my reset and get Noon Quiver because Belveth is shoving mid. Your camera should be darting around. You have nothing else to do. So buy your Noon Quiver quickly and get right back to mid quickly. Grab a pink. Oh, you can wait for the longsword actually. That's not that bad.
Okay.
So she must have just rifted mid. Yeah, she rifted mid. That's not that bad. Yee, no ult. See, that was good that you moved your camera there. Because then you could see like, oh, he was ulting. You see, did you, I don't know if you noticed that like, it looked like there was like an aura around him. The Master Yi. That means it's his ult running.
Gotcha.
So when you're looking around like that, that's good. Because that essentially means that you're gathering info, which is the most important thing. And this game is an information gathering game. When he uses that, I would definitely just either hard shove or sit back and let him push up to you.
Gotcha.
Because when he uses W, he's very vulnerable, Zed. That shadow is very vulnerable. The best way to beat Zed is if he shadows like that and you can get on top of him and pound on him, you win. Right? He just wants to poke at you so he can get it all in. That right there, you jump to him. Yep, you jump to him. Beat him up as fast as you can. It's a race. Now, mechanically, this was very goofy. He canceled a lot of auto attacks in general.
Gotcha.
I imagine you must have been right-clicking a lot. Okay. Once you have your shield, you should go on him. Because he just used everything and his ult. Yeah, you don't want to sit back now. You want to go and fuck with him before he gets his W.
Okay.
You better go. You have you're giving him time to get his W. Okay, now I'd probably just push and leave. He's gonna have W soon though. Sit back, sit back. Forward and back movements, not weird circular movements. Why do you want to get close to him for no reason? Okay, jump to him. You win now. You do win. You hard win. You cannot win.
Oh,
it's fine.
yeah.
That doesn't.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Now let's push. When you're learning this game, okay, you need to see these big, basically compartmentalize it like this. If you see a dude use a big ability, I don't know where he is right now, so I don't feel comfortable hitting this tower. I'd leave. Master Yi just clicks on you and runs you over, right? So like, because we know that could happen, I would just take the reset right now. I wouldn't even push.
Okay.
Yeah, I would jump to him. If he's not gonna W, I'm gonna just jump on his head. Because you win. Remember that you win in a long trade. All right. Good enough. You got his ult. Let's push. He has no ult. He's no threat. Get up there and push. Yeah, push in his face. See? A lot of the time, it's just knowing whether or not someone's vulnerable, right? Like, that's why he has to back down when you walk forward. Because he can't do anything without ult. He's very useless. You have wind wall. Instead of doing that, I would just wind wall. Oh, okay. That's a very big arrow. Yeah. That sucks. So instead of hitting him with the Q, that's a useless Q. Look at the health of the turret. Right? You're throwing that Q at this guy, but you have wind wall up and you could just take the turret from under his nose, right?
Right. Gotcha.
Remember, the goal of the game is to take towers, right? Champions and minions are in the way of the towers and the objectives, right? If you're allowed to take the objective, take the objective. Just a good rule of thumb to follow at all times. I'd be moving my camera down here to drag. Back to mid. I would shove mid.
Oh.
And you could rotate now. You could rotate. because they're getting pretty, because you were moving your camera and that gave you the good info, right? If you hadn't moved your camera, I wouldn't be letting you rotate right now. But you moved your camera, so I know that we probably win. So use your wind wall and start kiting it out. Yep. I would definitely be fucking with them. I would not be giving up. I would not be giving up. I would be chasing them. Yep, go beat somebody up. Not bad. Now let's get out of here. Let's get the fuck out of here. And take a reset. Now, one thing you did well there is that you at least moved your camera in mid. You moved your camera to dragon, right? And you saw they were low, and I said you could move, right? You saw that? You didn't just move mindlessly. Go ahead and grab what you can. You could probably build like... Yeah, you can build towards mortal. That's fine. You at least moved your camera there, and you got the info that you needed before moving, right? You didn't just mindlessly walk at it. So normally I won't let people move unless they had actually moved their camera over first. All right, let's start hard pushing side lane here.
Should I?
It's just you though. It's a 2v1. I don't like it. Not a big fan of it. I don't feel like it's that worth. If you're gonna go for it, don't flash for it. Or if you're gonna flash, try to walk to the back of the pit. Right? I don't know. I probably not going for it. I think that realistically, it's not the end of the world.
I gotcha. I thought it. Well, my thought process on it was only that's gold. That's almost a guaranteed tower if I can get it there.
But then my counterpoint is, how are you going to make up for the XP and the gold that you lose dying, though?
See, that's one thing I don't really think about very well is the XP.
We go challenge this guy. You have a lot of attack speed, even though he's 2 levels ahead. He's really barrel dependent. If you break his barrels, you win. Okay? Try to get in his face and break his barrels. Now, he's a little too big to be stat checking, though. Right? So what you just did is you went for the fight, which was good. Right? Mm-hmm. Once he drops the ult down, though, you probably are better off just kind of like poking at him and waiting till the ult wears off and then working your way past the... Like, you have to basically kill one at a time. You can't just try to stat check people when you're behind. You could probably stat check Gangplank alone, right? But he's relatively fed himself. But Gangplank by himself, if you're able to break his barrels, he's actually useless. It's kind of funny. Andrew, thanks for stopping by the way, man.
I was watching you coach a Gangplank recently, actually.
Yeah, I mean, he's very easy for you to beat in a straight up 1v1 as long as you're hitting his barrels. I would jump right at the set. I would go through minions. He's walking through minions. I'm just going to go and try to challenge. The game's getting we're too far behind to wait around. It's a shame. Yeah, so one of the things you want to do is you don't have to ult right away. Like, gotcha. For example, that Zed, you know that if you just auto him to death, that you're probably going to win, right? So instead of like rushing the tornado, rushing the ult, try to play it so that your ult is actually more of an execute, as opposed to just like a, you know, I ult just because all he's going to do is as soon as he comes out of your ult, he's just going to W away.
At least it's over.
I wish I hadn't seen train wrecks to know, or I wish I hadn't seen as many train wrecks as I had in my lifetime of playing this game, to where it's just boring to me. But like, you know, I've been here for a while, and I know when a game is just doomed. Like, there's no win con, right?
Right.
So let's talk real quick. All right, I'm gonna be man to man with you, real with you, okay? I do not believe that if your intent is to get to gold, I do not believe that this is the best use of your time playing this champion right now. For a couple of reasons. I mean, one, I just simply think it's mechanically too much. It looks too much to me. You are moving your camera around and you are trying to do things, but I think this champion is just First of all, Yasuo's traditionally seen these days as a niche pick in mid. Niche in the sense that, like, you know, he plays into range champs really well. There's a reason why he wins more on bottom than he does in mid. That's like my first like tidbit of advice is like, I just don't see a world where you're going to learn faster playing this champion than playing something that's a little bit more like ABC. Like, you have these cool champions in your list that are a lot more manageable for someone who's starting out. And a lot of people think that when I'm saying things like, oh, play an easier champion, I'm saying that you can never play Yasuo again. It's not what I'm saying. I've yelled at many a person. I've yelled at huge streamers over this same concept. Like Quinn, he's a really massive streamer on Twitch. I yelled at him for this in the past because he got into the game playing Aurelia, right? And I'm just like, dude, you would literally learn Aurelia faster if you would just play an easier champion and learn to climb with that. Because the way the game works is like, you need to build good habits and you're fighting your champion every step of the way right now. So like, I can feel your kiting ability and all this stuff. It's like trying to paint 10 paintings at the same time.
Oh yeah, no, I'm good on that.
Do you understand what I mean though?
Yeah, no. It's
if I said to you, hey, I need you, you have a choice. You could build one painting at a time or 10 paintings at once. There might be people out there that could paint 10 paintings at once and do a reasonable job, right? Like, I mean, when I'm saying it, like, you know, maybe you draw a tree on one painting and then you draw this on another painting and then you draw this on another painting, right? You're building out multiple paintings at once, right? Or you paint one thing at a time. So what I mean is, if I put you on something like Mordekaiser, for example, just as an example, if I put you on Mordekaiser, I'm not going to have to worry so much about whether or not you're fat fingering your abilities and dropping farm left, right, and center and like missing tornadoes at pivotal moments and like throwing out abilities out of order, or you know, there's so much fluidity in your champion. This is why Yasuo just sucks in low elo, dude. And this is also why I give you a chance. This is why I give you a chance to show me where you're at before I just say, all right, fuck this. I just really strongly would recommend like picking up something easier for mid, even if it's something that you would consider to be just boring as fuck, right? Just so that you understand how to climb properly versus people that are like, because right now you're just fucking around in bronze and wasting your time, where we need to learn one concept at a time, right? You're doing college right now. Think of this as college, okay? You don't want to go to trigonometry first, right? You want to learn basic math first. You build up. There's a reason that they don't introduce kids to trigonometry and then randomly go, you can go back to basic if you want.
No, I gotcha. So do you like have any suggestions for
let's talk about this. You have a lot of champions in your roster here. I always recommend, I always say simpler is better. Champions like Garen, like fucking Mordekaiser, like Shen, like Set, Malzahar if you're into mages. I don't personally like Annie, just because I think she's kind of wonky. It's like slow push. It's not really fast wave clear, and you can't really, like, I don't know, I've struggled with trying to articulate like a reasonable play style for her. Basically just champs that just simplify the lane a bit more so that you don't have to worry so much about like, oh my god, I'm missing even Nasus in there, like Nasus mid. I know that sounds crazy, but like, simple shit, dude. Simple shit. Yeah, I'm not trying to discourage you or make the game unfun for you. It's just you paid me a lot of money for coaching, and I want to get you to where you want to get to, you know, as fast as you can get there. Even Nocturne is fine mid. It just boils down to keeping things simple. Let's start. Have you played Mord before?
Kind of, sort of.
Scroll down.
I mean, yeah.
Let's start simple. Let's climb with something easier before we go into fancy pants land. Now, I saw that you were winning with Shaco, right? But I don't really want to get into Shaco right now. I want to get into simple, all right? Think of it like this. You got to prove to me that you can beat certain concepts first, okay? First concept we're going to just work on here today is we're just going to work on farming and just picking our spots smartly. So let's go into Q. Yeah, it was a fine match.